Uh, Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. I first want to agree with the comments offered by the previous two speakers, especially Dick Offerman, with regard to the need for independent commission to draw the districts. I'm a longtime former Concord resident, a new Pleasant Hill resident. In 2018, Concord went to districts for its city council elections. I was a candidate myself in that first by-district election. Last November, the second district election in Concord, the third rather, was the first time ever in Concord's history that an incumbent council member was unseated by a new challenger in 3 decades in Concord. We may feel differently about whether that result in itself is desirable, but I think we can all agree that it signifies an increase in the competitiveness of elections, and that at least is a good thing for democracy and resident representation. I was asked to read into the record a letter that you have already received by email from the Asian American Law Caucus on districts, a letter whose recommendations I agree with. I am myself Asian American, you can probably tell from my name. And I'll just, for briefness, I will read just the recommendations from that caucus, which I also personally endorse. And those are: 1, that Pleasant Hill should establish a fair and inclusive process for determining the election districts and district boundaries. And I quote here, "While we understand the deadline the city may be considering, in general, we have been a proponent of independent, nonpartisan redistricting commissions as a vehicle for fair line drawing and robust community participation. To that end, we support the city stipulating an extension of the legal deadlines for the purpose of creating such a commission. 2, Pleasant Hill should implement a robust plan for community outreach and engagement, especially seeking the participation of historically marginalized communities and ensuring language access." I know the city the city manager mentioned there's the statutory requirement to have 4 input meetings, as Concord did a few years ago, but the quality of those meetings is very important beyond the statutory requirement merely to hold them. And the third recommendation is that Pleasant Hill should observe communities of shared interests, such as renters, students, economic concerns, etc. Finally, the letter concludes that the Asian community is approximately 14% of the population, and the Latina population is around 12% of Pleasant Hill. These communities of color have increased in size in recent years and seek full representation. The caucus urges Pleasant Hill to consider how best these communities can be fully included in the civic life of Pleasant Hill, and offers itself for questions. And as a Pleasant Hill resident newly myself and an Asian American, I endorse all these recommendations, and I thank you for the time.